Okay, this video is to try to better explain to everybody the concept of a running total that we use for payroll and keeping track of what you're owed. Now, we use a running total because there's no way that we can keep track of the jobs that we have unless we don't mark them as paid in full. And you don't get your total owed, the technician pay that goes into your total owed until the job is paid in full. So when we have a problem with collecting payment, or we have a client that takes a long time, or whatever it is, we end up with the work order sitting in completed work orders for an extended period of time. And we understand that you as technicians, need this money to survive and pay your bills, and you did complete your job. So that's why after an extended period of time, we typically offer to pay these out, even though it is still in completed work orders and not in paid in full work orders. Other times that we do this is if we have a large project, like for example, this Mary Beth Hastings with a work order total of $28,000. A lot of technicians are not able to handle the labor that goes along with this, so we are able to give them an advance. So that's kind of what this topic is going to be about, is a running total and advances. So right now, this technician has a total owed of $0. Okay, but they have completed projects, 3 completed projects, and also 1 pending project. So let's just real quick see. And bear with me here. It's just I'm gonna be doing this in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a payroll submission. And this is going to be an advance to this person. Okay, so let's say direct deposit. Okay, so hypothetically, this is an $8,000 advance. And the reason for this $8,000 advance is we're going to say Mary Beth Hastings is the reason, but that's the issue. We cannot correlate an advance specifically for a job. You can kind of know that it's for that, and that's why you're getting it, but when it comes down to it, we're still using a running total. So I'm going to make the payroll submission. I'm going to refresh the page, and now you see that this technician is negative $8,000. So right away, if you're looking at watermoldfire.org to keep track of your pay, you should know right then and there that $8,000 is not for Mary Beth Hastings. It's just an advance of $8,000 to keep things moving. And the reason why we gave that is because we know that eventually we are going to have to pay $8,000 for Mary Beth Hastings. But this specific payroll submission of $8,000 should not be looked at that this is for Mary Beth Hastings. This is just an advance of $8,000. So, and this is to move forward and show you why you should, even more so, why you should not be thinking that this is for a specific job. Here's why. So I'm going to go complete a couple of these jobs. And don't pay attention to these numbers as far as what the technician is getting paid. It's just I'm just using round numbers. Okay, so I'm going to complete the Chicago Expo example. Job is $10,000. I'm going to say the technician made 50% and they get $5,000. Okay, so finish that. So the Expo example is now in paid in full work orders. If you're looking at this, you would see that this moved to paid in full work orders, which is why the amount owed is not as negative. So it's now negative 3,000. So we're going to do one more just to get this. We're going to do Deborah. Okay, so I made it so the technician made a little over $3,000 on that. Going to refresh the page. So now they have a total owed of positive $313.24. Deborah is no longer in completed work orders. Deborah is in paid in full work orders. You see the technician pay, and the correct amount was gone from negative to positive. So here's what brings the issue in. So now, if you're not looking at watermoldfire.org and you're not using this to keep track of what your pay is, you've now in your head thought, okay, I received $8,000 for Mary Beth Hastings, and these other two jobs have paid in full, so I'm owed X amount of dollars for those other two jobs, which is not true. You went to a negative balance, and now those two other jobs were completed and paid in full, so now that brings you to a positive balance that you're not negative anymore, but Mary Beth Hastings is still not paid. You are still not paid for Mary Beth Hastings. Now, you can ask for another advance potentially for Mary Beth Hastings, and depending on the situation, we could definitely consider that and get it to you. But when you come to us and you don't understand how things are kept track of, it introduces a problem. And we cannot have a continued and learning this and just starting to work with us is understandable because it's a little bit unique. But at the same time, when you're working with us for extended times and you refuse to understand how this is kept track of, we can't explain this every single time because it is very simple when you come down to it. If you use this system and you make sure that everything is in the correct sections and your pay is correct for the technician pay and the submissions are correct, everything else is correct. So now if you come to us and say, let's say you wait another week or so for Mary Beth Hastings to pay, and you say, hey guys, I was able to, I went negative, and then I got a couple more jobs completed, so now I'm at zero again, but I was hoping to get another advance for, while we wait for Mary Beth Hastings. That shows a clear understanding from you that you have taken the time to understand how we keep track of things, and we can very easily say, yes, no, whatever it may be. But we cannot get into a back and forth about, I was paid for Mary Beth Hastings and now this, because it just goes around in circles if you don't understand how this works. So please take the time to learn and use this tool because it is very valuable, and you should be checking your technician pay and making sure that you are getting correct. But don't hand us a sheet of paper and say, here's all the things that I've been paid on and everything like that, because we don't have time to go through that when we are already doing it. It's already here. Just utilize the tool. Thank you.